Welcome to your deep dive. Today, we're diving into AI.
Okay.
And trust me, this isn't your typical tech talk. We're looking at how AI is showing up in some really unexpected places.
Okay.
We've got a stack of sources from you guys.
Great.
And expert speakers here to help us break it all down.
Yeah.
You ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So first up, this AI-generated video with all these Jewish celebrities.
Huh?
It's a direct response to Kanye West's anti-Semitic comments.
Yeah. What I think is interesting here is how they're using AI.
Yeah.
Not just for fun, but as like a social commentary.
Right.
I mean, seeing Scarlett Johansson and Adam Sandler digitally wearing shirts with the middle finger and the Star of David.
Yeah.
It definitely gets your attention.
It does. It makes you stop and think.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see more AI-powered activism like this in the future?
It's possible. I mean, the creator, Ori Bejarano, he's shown how AI can reach a huge audience.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see if this starts a trend.
Okay. So let's switch gears a bit.
Okay.
One of the articles you sent talked about DeepSeek.
Yeah.
A Chinese startup that's shaking things up in AI.
Right.
They figured out how to make these powerful AI models, called large language models, much more affordable.
Exactly.
But I have to admit, I'm not sure how big of a deal that really is.
It's a bigger deal than you might think.
Okay.
So large language models are like the brains behind a lot of the AI we see every day.
Okay.
They're trained on tons of data.
Wow.
To understand and generate human language. Which is how they do things like write text, translate languages, and answer questions.
Okay. So making them cheaper is a game changer then.
Exactly. Think about it.
Yeah.
More people and businesses would have access to that kind of power.
Right.
This could even change where the real value is in AI. Instead of focusing on that expensive training phase,
right,
it might shift to the applications themselves.
I see. So what kind of impact are we talking about here?
Well, for one, this could give Chinese companies a real edge.
Yeah. Interesting.
Even with those U.S. export controls on the chips used for AI.
Yeah.
If China can make these models without relying on those chips,
right,
it changes the whole game.
So you're saying this could affect who has the power in tech?
It could. It's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
But this situation also presents an opportunity.
Okay.
U.S. and Chinese companies might want to collaborate, in areas like cloud services and productivity tools.
So in the middle of all this geopolitical stuff, AI could be a bridge between these two superpowers.
It's possible. And I think it'll be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Okay, now before we get too serious,
Perfect.
I got to ask about this article on how AI companies name their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these names are wild.
They can be pretty creative.
Yeah, like OpenAI just released a new model called O3 Mini.
Right.
Not exactly catchy, huh?
Not really.
And even Sam Altman, the co-founder of OpenAI, admitted their naming could use some work.
Yeah.
But they're not alone.
Yeah.
We've got names that sound like Muppets.
Right.
And confusing acronyms that only a few people understand.
It's interesting. It really shows the different ways companies approach AI.
Okay.
Some focus on internal meaning.
Right.
Instead of whether users get it.
Yeah.
While others, like Microsoft with Copilot or Apple with Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
They want names that are more user-friendly.
So even in the world of AI,
a
little personality sneaks in.
It does. It makes you wonder if those names say something about the company's whole approach to AI.
Okay, so we've got AI potentially influencing activism.
Yeah.
Shaking up the global tech landscape.
Right.
And even bringing some humor to the table. But what else do we have in these sources?
Let's see. Well, one article mentioned AI being used more and more in warfare.
Oh, wow. That sounds kind of scary. What does that even mean?
There's been a lot of talk about autonomous weapon systems. Basically, robots that can decide to use lethal force.
Without a human involved.
Yeah, without a human giving the... okay.
That sounds like something out of a movie. Is that really happening now?
It's further along than you might think. A lot of countries are working on these systems.
Wow.
And that brings up a lot of ethical and legal questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Well, like, who's responsible if one of these weapons messes up?
Right.
Or makes the wrong call? Can we really trust AI to make life or death decisions?
That's a tough one.
It is. It's a complicated issue.
Yeah. It sounds like something we need to be thinking about carefully.
Absolutely.
So let's change gears a bit.
Okay.
Another article mentions something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Right.
I have to admit, I'm not really sure what that is.
AGI is basically the idea of creating an AI that's as smart as a human.
Okay.
One that can learn and solve all sorts of problems.
So like AI that can think for itself.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Though there's a lot of debate about whether it's even possible.
I can imagine.
Some experts say we'll get there in a few decades. Others think it'll take centuries, or maybe never happen.
It sounds like the holy grail of AI research. Why are people so focused on achieving it?
There's definitely a competitive aspect to it.
Right.
Like the U.S. and China want to be the leader in this field.
Makes sense.
But there's also just a scientific curiosity.
Right.
Can we really copy human intelligence in a machine?
Yeah.
And if we can, what does that tell us about ourselves?
That is a big question.
It is. It makes you think about our place in the universe.
But even if we never reach true AGI,
Yeah.
won't all this research still lead to some cool stuff?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just like the space race led to all sorts of inventions,
Mm-hmm.
the pursuit of AGI is likely to have a similar impact.
I see.
We're already seeing advancements in machine learning,
Right.
natural language processing, and robotics.
So even if AGI is still a long way off,
Yeah.
it's still affecting our world today.
Exactly. AI is already a part of our lives in so many ways.
True.
Sometimes it's obvious, like with virtual assistants or self-driving cars,
Yeah.
but often it's working behind the scenes,
Right.
making things run more smoothly.
It's kind of crazy how fast it's all happening.
I know.
Yeah.
It can be a bit overwhelming,
It really can.
but that's why it's so important to stay informed.
Okay.
We need to be thinking about the effects of this technology,
Right.
both good and bad.
So it's not just up to the people actually creating AI.
Right. It's on all of us.
Okay.
As citizens, consumers, and voters, we can demand that companies be transparent about their AI.
Okay.
We can push for ethical guidelines and regulations, and we can educate ourselves and others.
They're not just along for the ride.
Yeah.
We can actually shape how AI develops.
Exactly. The future of AI is not set in stone.
That's a good point.
It's up to us to decide what kind of world we want to create with it.
Speaking of the future of AI,
Yeah?
one of the sources talked about AI making things more personalized.
Right.
What would that look like?
It means AI could tailor experiences to our needs and what we like.
Okay.
Imagine healthcare, education, entertainment, even shopping,
Wow.
all customized just for you.
It's like having a personal assistant who knows me better than I know myself.
That's the idea. But, of course, there are downsides too,
Okay.
mainly privacy and data security.
Right. It's one thing for AI to recommend a new song,
Yeah,
but giving it access to my medical records or bank info is different.
exactly. As AI gets more involved in our lives,
Right.
we need to think about how much data we're sharing and how that information is being protected.
So it's about balancing personalization with control over our data.
Right. What other things should we be watching out for as AI keeps advancing? One thing that always comes up is how AI might affect jobs.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried about AI taking over jobs and causing unemployment.
It's a valid concern. AI can definitely automate some tasks,
Right.
and that could change things for workers. But if you look back, history shows us that new tech usually creates new jobs too.
Like what?
Think about the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
It was a huge change, but it also led to whole new industries.
That's true.
I think the same thing will probably happen with AI.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
Not at all. I think it's more about adapting.
Okay.
Instead of being afraid of losing jobs,
Yeah.
we should focus on what skills are needed in an AI world.
And make sure people have those skills.
Right. It's about being proactive and learning new things all the time.
So basically the job market is always changing.
Exactly. With or without AI.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Another question I hear a lot is about making sure AI is developed responsibly. How do we prevent bias and discrimination in these systems?
That's a really important question, and there's a lot of effort going into that.
Okay.
One big challenge is the data used to train AI. If that data already has societal biases, the AI will probably have them too.
So we need to make sure the data is diverse and represents everyone. Exactly. And having diverse teams working on AI is key.
Yeah.
We need people with different perspectives and backgrounds.
To make sure these systems are fair.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. What's the most exciting thing happening in AI right now?
That's a tough one.
I know there's so much going on.
There is, but if I had to choose one, I'd say the progress in natural language processing is really cool.
Like how ChatGPT can have a conversation and write different things.
Exactly. It's amazing how far we've come.
It really is.
And this is just the beginning.
Wow. It's been awesome exploring the world of AI with you.
Yeah, it has.
Thanks for all your insights.
My pleasure. It's always an interesting topic.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope you learned something new and maybe even got inspired to learn more about this incredible technology.
Yeah.
Remember, the future of AI is being shaped right now. And we all have a role to play in making sure it benefits everyone.
That's right.